Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jaya Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की गौर भक्तवृंद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवता सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimadh Bhagvatam, Canto 4, Chapter number 13, entitled The Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, text number 25. Maitreya Uvacha Ango Asvamedam Rajarshi Ajahara Mahakratum Najagmur Devatas Tasmin Ahuta Brahmavadibhi. Maitreya Uvacha Ango Asvamedam Rajarshir Ajahara Mahakratum Najagmuri Devatas Tasmin Ahuta Brahmavadibhi. Maitreya Uvacha Ango Asvamedam Rajarshir Ajahara Mahakrutam Najagmur Devatas Tasmin Ahuta Brahmavadibhi. Mataji's. Maitreya answered. Maitreya uvacha. Someone is reading? Okay, sir. What word meaning? Maitreya uvacha. Maitreya answered. Anaga. Anga. King Anga. Aswamedam. Aswamedha sacrifice. Rajarshi. The saintly king. Ajahara. Executed. Mahakratum. Great sacrifice. Not. Ajagmur. Came. Devataha. The demigods. Tasmin. In that sacrifice. Ahuta. Being invited. Brahmavadihi. By the Brahmanas expert in executing sacrifices. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Maitreya replied, My dear Vidura, once the great king Anga arranged to perform the great sacrifice known as Aswamedha. All the expert Brahmanas present knew how to invite the demigods, but in spite of their efforts, no demigods participated or appeared in that sacrifice. Purport. A Vedic sacrifice is not an ordinary performance. The demigods used to participate in such sacrifices, and the animals sacrificed in such performance were reincarnated with new life. In this age of Kali, there are no powerful Brahmanas who can invite the demigods or give renewed life to animals. Formerly, the Brahmanas well conversant in Vedic mantras could show the potency of the mantras. But in this age, because there are no such Brahmanas, all such sacrifices are forbidden. The sacrifice in which horses were offered was called Aswamedha. Sometimes cows were sacrificed, Ghavalamba, not for eating purposes, but to give them new life in order to show the potency of the mantra. In this age, therefore, the only practical yajna in Sankirtan yajna, or chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra 24 hours a day. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadangikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamsha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarungasya Krupa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Before begin this, I want blessing from all the Vaishnavas, especially His Grace Anandmayi Prabhu. So today's topic is in Kali Yuga, how the important thing is Sankirtan movement, So Prabhupada mentioned here in this purport that in this age, therefore, the only practical yajna is Sankirtan yajna, or chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra 24 hours a day. So in this verse we can see that how even after inviting the Brahmanas, means for inviting demigods, they not present. So we can see out of these 4 yugas that in Satyuga people live hundreds of thousands of years and they perform tapasya for thousands of years so that they can achieve. So we can see in Satyuga, dharma was that Chaturpad. So there is no adulteration. So it is, they maintain purity. And but if you see in Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga, so slowly it is coming downwards, that how it is degrading. So that's why in Kali Yuga, there is only one thing. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, 10.25, that Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmin. So here, so among all the yajnas, sacrificing all the yajnas, uttering the holy name, which attracts the most. So this is the most important sacrifice in Kali Yuga. So Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So here we can see that how Krishna also attracts the chanting of the holy names. This is the best sacrifice. And we can see even Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is called Nama Purana. Means in the Srimad Bhagavatam it explains the glories of the Lord actually. It describes the glories of the Lord. So that's why it is mentioned as Nama Purana. And at the end of the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned in 12.13.23, that is the last verse of the last canto. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranamo Dukkha Samana Tan Nama Harim Param. So here the meaning is, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offerings of obeisances unto whom relieves all material sufferings. So here once repeatedly chanting the holy names, then their sinful tendencies and all their sins will destroy. So this is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So like this, if you see in even Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed so many disciples and in different situations that how the holy name is very, very important. So one sloka is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 16.71. Prabhu kahe Vaishnava seva nama sankirtana dui kare shigra pave Sri Krishna charana. So the Lord said, you should engage yourself in the service of the servants of Krishna and always chant the holy names of Krishna. If you do these two things, you will very soon attain shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So So that's why these two things are important. One is Vaishnava Seva and chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So even we can see in Chaitanya Leela that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally sent Nityananda Mahaprabhu for preaching. So then Nityananda Mahaprabhu, when he saw Jagai and Madai, he want to give this holy name. So you know this pastime, that how Nityananda Mahaprabhu got caught and blood came. Then afterwards, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very angry and he held the Sudarshan to kill Jagai and Madai. But Nityananda Mahaprabhu requested, that you came, this incarnation is mainly to give the holy name and remove the anarthas in the hearts of the people of Kali Yuga. So then with the request of Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed and he gave this holy name. So then Jagai and Madai, they understood their mistake. Then they asked the instructions to what to follow. So then Jagai Madai got instructions from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to chant 64 rounds every day and also to serve the Vaishnavas. So then Jagai and Madai, they started chanting every day more than 64 rounds, 2 lakhs holy names every day. So not only this, so they made one ghat. So in if you go to Navadip, there is ghat is there, Jagai Madai ghat. So there they built the bathing ghat on the banks of Ganges, and they used to serve the Vaishnavas when they used to take the bath in the Ganges. So at that time Jagai Madai used to serve them actually. And also they chant the holy name. So from this we can see Jagai Madai, such a degraded people, they become acharyas and they became guru because they have taken shelter of the holy name and serve the Vaishnavas. So like this we have so many examples, like Haridas Thakur also uplift the prostitute, that and Haridas Thakur gave instruction to this prostitute to serve the Tulsi Maharani and also to chant the holy name so that the sin will get destroyed. So then the prostitute also became very popular by chanting of the holy name, and she became a great devotee. So like this in Srimad Bhagvatam also we know that how different personalities, they take shelter of the holy name when they are in different situations where they face a problem in their life. So holy name is such a powerful that Ajamil, just by chanting Narayana, his son's name, so immediately all the sins got destroyed because of chanting Namabash. So then Vishnu Dutas personally appeared and he protected from Yamadutas. And Katvanga got, means within 24 minutes he meditated on the Lord and chanted the holy name and able to go back to Godhead within 24 minutes. That is one Murta. And so like this Prahlad Maharaj is taken center of the holy name. And Dhruv Maharaj, he has also taken shelter of the holy name. And Parikshit Maharaj, he constantly had the Srimad Bhagvatam and taken shelter of the holy name and Srimad Bhagvatam. So like this, we can see there are so many pastimes, it is mentioned. Even Narada Muni, he delivered so many personalities, even like the hunter like Mrugari. So he used to enjoy just by killing the animals, off-killed animals, and he used to enjoy by seeing their suffering. So, but because of Narada Muni give shelter to Mrugari, and he chanted the holy name, and he became a pure devotee. So like this, we can see that how by chanting the holy name, one can uplift their and remove the anarthas in their life. So in Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that there is one verse, Man mana mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskurum. So here, how can one should think of the Lord and one should worship the Lord, So all these things we can do only by chanting of the holy name. So as soon as when we chant the holy name, automatically means by chanting the holy name one can worship the Supreme Lord. And when we chant the holy name with humble mood, so by doing all these things one can remember the Lord actually. Krishna varnam tvisa krishnam sango pangastra parshadam yajnai sankirtana prayet yajanti hi sumedasa. So how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, when he came and he appeared, when Krishna appeared in the form of a devotee, he personally carried the astras, that is in the form of the holy name. So like this we can see that how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is give this holy name to everyone, especially when he come to South India Yatra also. When he was traveling in South India, he go from village to village and he delivered the group of people, It is not just, few. It is like villages they delivered just by giving this holy name. So this pastime that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached one village, there one dhobi, washerman, so washing the clothes. So there, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached, so just by touching that washerman, immediately he became ecstatic by chanting Krishna's holy name. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So like this, washerman, he went to inside the village and he make others also devotees just by chanting this holy name actually. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very expertly preaching and giving this holy name to so many people, especially, when coming the South India, one can understand that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation is mainly to give this holy name and liberate. So there is one beautiful verse in Upadeshamrita. It is mentioned in 8th verse. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtanau smartavya kramena rasana manasi niyojya tishtan vrajetad anuragi janagume kalam nayed akilam iti upadesha saram. So Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, he is giving the condensed verses, means how one should perform bhakti. And so we can see the scriptures are very huge and vast. But and Rupa and Sanatana, so they got the teachings from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so they have written the 2 books, very, very important for Vaishnavas. That is Upadeshamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion. So in that Nectar of Instruction, out of all the verses, so 8th verse is very, very important. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtana anusmritayo kramena rasana manasi niyojna. So here it is discussed that how the chanting of the holy names, one should remember his form, qualities and the pastimes. So like this, the first and foremost important thing is here it is mentioned, Anusmritya kramena rasana manasi niyojna. So one cannot remember Krishna automatically. Why? Because our mind is polluted. So for that, the only one technique is rasana, means one should use the tongue to chant the holy name. So this is most important thing. So unless until you will not use the tongue for chanting the holy names, then you cannot remember Krishna. So as soon as you chant the holy name, one can remember Krishna, and also it purifies our heart. So the first process is, when we chant the holy name, it purifies the heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if you see that out of these 84 lakh species, that especially for human beings, that we can utilize all our limbs, especially through tongue and through ears, one can deliver ourselves. So if you see, there are so many animals are there, and but even though they have tongue, they cannot chant the holy name. But this is a benediction for all of us to chant the holy name, because that for human beings, Lord is given intelligence, and one should utilize. And especially for those who are connecting to Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, that we are most fortunate. Why? Because we got Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya, is connected to Guru Parampara, and also Prabhupada facilitates for everyone, for each and everyone to chant the holy name, and to engage all our limbs for service of the Lord. So that's why here, just by chanting of the holy name, one can deliver oneself. So then afterwards, what it is mentioned here, as soon as when we chant the holy name repeatedly, then one can remember the form, and afterwards one can remember the qualities of the Lord. So then one can remember the pastimes of the Lord. So like this, one can deliver. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 4.71, it is mentioned, Tara Madhye Sarvasreshta Nama Sankirtana Nirparade Nama Laila Paya Premadana. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that all the limbs of bhakti, just chant the holy name. Just chant the holy name. So we can see that how of the 9 process of devotional service, the most important is one should always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, then, and avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, then one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. So you may ask that how to chant this pure holy name. So there is simple thing that so initially when we chant the holy name, we may offend, but as you are chanting more and more, so the chanting only will help us to overcome from offenses. So then finally it will purify and purify, then one can chant the pure holy name. So the only one thing is, one should have sincerity and dedication to chant the holy name. So for this, one should require the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas and Krishna. So with the blessings of the Gurus and Vaishnavas, one can chant the holy name very purely. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is mentioned that for devotional service, there are 64 limbs, it is mentioned. So out of 64 limbs, Rupa Goswami said that topmost 5 things: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtana, Bhagavat Sravan, Madhuravas, Sri Murti Seva. So like this, how these 5 things are very, very important. So among this, so Nama Kirtan it is there. So even in Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, even though other things like Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavat Sravan, Madhurava, Sri Murti Seva, for this, without holy name, it is no use. Why? Sadhu Sangha. So when we take the association of devotees, unless if you will not chant the holy name, what is the use of association of devotees? So holy name is included. And in Bhagavat Sravan, so we may read and quote so many slokas by repeatedly chanting or reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, unless until if you will not chant the holy name, then what is the use of Srimad Bhagavatam? And Madhuravas. So when we stay in Dham, so when we go to the holy places, so what is the purpose? The purpose is to chant the holy names. If you will not chant the holy names, what is the use to stay in the holy places? And Sri Murti Sevaya. So when we worship the Lord, so unless until we will chant the mantras, Lord will not accept our worship. So suppose if you want to worship, so when we are offering the bhoga, so one should chant the mantras. So first of all, Idam Asanam Klim Krishnaya Namaha, Swagatam Suswagatam Klim Krishnaya Namaha. So like this some mantras are there. So and afterwards one should chant with love and devotion mantras. So unless until we will not chant, Krishna will not accept. So that's why from all this perspective, one can understand that holy name is very, very important. So here Vedavyas personally told that Sakala Nigama Valli Satphalam Chit Swarupam Sakrid Api Parigitam Sraddhaya Helayava Briguvara Naramatram Traye Krishna Nama. So the meaning is that if tree is the Vedas and fruit is the holy name, so which is most relishing. So we can see that in the tree there are so many branches are there, so many leaves are there, so many other things are there. But the most important thing is the fruit which gives the rasa and which gives the taste. So if you compare all the Vedas to the tree, and among all the Vedas, the most important thing is the holy name. Holy name is compared to the fruit. So and we can see that how we are very, very fortunate that we are staying in this temple, that Prabhupada personally came to Hyderabad and he performed Sankirtan. So there is one incident happened that when Prabhupada was there at that time, 1970 sometime, in the month of November, actually there are so many droughts. Rains were not coming at that time for so many months, and So at that time, the government requested Prabhupada to help. So then Prabhupada said he will do Sankirtan. So for a few days, he performed Sankirtan. So after performing the Sankirtan, then the rains coming started actually. So from this we can understand that how the Sankirtan is very, very important. In Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that Yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajnat karma sambhava. So the rain produces by the performance of yajnas. So it is proved by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada by performing this Sankirtan in Hyderabad itself. So like this we can see that holy name is very, very important, And in Mukundamala Stotra also we can see the first 4 verses are glorify about the holy name. So Kulashekara Alvar, he glorifies the holy name in the first 4 verses. So which is very, very important. Sri Vallabheti Varadeti Daya Pareti Bhakta Prayeti Bavalunta Kovideti Nateti Naga Chayaneti Jagannivasa Alapina Pratidina Kuruma Mukunda. So the meaning is, O Mukunda, my Lord, please let me become a constant reciter of your holy names, addressing you as Sri Vallabha. So here we can see that how the holy name is very, very important. Here it is praying that once let me become a constant reciter of your holy names. We can see that how in our devotional service, every day we chant 16 rounds. Means it is not for one day or 2 days. Every day, So that's why, so here the most important thing is one should pray to the Lord to give me strength to chant the holy name every day at least 16 rounds. So until we will not do prayers, so it is very difficult to continue also. So that's why one should pray regularly to the Lord to chant the holy name every day. And so here Varada means the bestower of benedictions. So Varadaraj. So he is the best benedictor who gives so many benedictions. Dayapara. So the Lord is so much merciful. He is causelessly merciful. And he is also Bhakta Priya. So he who is very dear to his devotees. And he who is expert at plundering the status quo of repeated birth and death. So those who are chanting the holy names of the Lord, then automatically the Lord is expert in plundering the status quo of repeated birth and death. So just by taking shelter of the holy name. So here there is an instance happened when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Kasi, that he meet thousands of 60,000 sannyasis. So they are Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashan Saraswati. So at that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu show his humility in front of all the sannyasis. So then he sat in very low position, so where the one washes the feet. So there he sat. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he increases his effulgence. So because the Mayavadis, they attract the effulgence, the light, Brahma Jyoti. So by seeing the effulgence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Mayavadis got attracted. And immediately they requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept the position where they are sitting actually. They are trying to request. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I am not qualified, So here, so then afterwards, then there is a discussion happens that so many times generally these Mayavadi sannyasis, they blaspheme Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you chant only the holy names and you will not do study anything. So then he said that my spiritual master said that I am fool number one. So he gave me instruction to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So but by seeing the humility of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also in the discussion that one verse comes, that he mentions one verse which is given instruction to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his spiritual master Ishwar Puri. Harir Nama eva kevalam kalo nasteva gatiranyata. So he quoted the sloka in front of all the Mayavadi sannyasis. So then afterwards there is a discussion happens. So then finally with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's humility, and they all become the Vaishnavas. So here there is a discussion happens that we will discuss about this verse. Harir Nama eva kevalam kalo nasteva gatiranyata. So it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila that for spiritual progress in the age of Kali, there is no alternative to the holy name. The holy name of the Lord. So it is mentioned 3 times actually, So like this, we can see the importance of this holy name that is mentioned here. 3 times it is mentioned. So why the mention 3 times? That it makes us understand from the scriptures that how the holy name is very, very important. So Prabhupada in this purport it is mentioned that for progress in spiritual life, the Shastras recommended meditation in Satyuga, sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord Vishnu, in Treta Yuga and gorgeous worship of the Lord in the temple in Dwapar Yuga, but in the age of Kali, one achieves spiritual progress only by chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So, this is also confirmed in Srimadh Bhagvatam 12.3.51. It is mentioned, Kalir dosha nide rajan asti eka mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajet. So, in the age of Kali, there are many faults, for people are subjected to many miserable conditions. Yet in the age, there is one great benediction. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can be freed from all material contamination and thus be elevated to the spiritual world. And in Narada Pancharatra also, it is mentioned that, and it is glorified the Hare Krishna mantra, Trayo Veda Sad Angani Chandamsi Vivida Sura Sarvam Ashtakrita Sanyaj Chanyad Api Van Mayam Sarva Vedanta Sarascha Samsarana Taranaha. So the essence of all Vedic knowledge, comprehending three kinds of Vedic activity, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda and Upasana Kanda. So the Chandalas are Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns are the process for satisfying the demigods is included in the 8 syllables Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is reality of all Vedanta. So the chanting of the holy name is the only means to cross the ocean of nescience. Similarly, in Kalishantara Upanishad also it states one should chant the holy names of these 16 names composed of 32 syllables are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So like this we can see that in scriptures in Bhagvatam and Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita, in all these places, mentioned in different places, how the chanting of the holy name is very important. So we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrunda ki, Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.